Welcome everyone to Flipping Finance Challenge 2021. Thank you all for coming. My name is Mark Wollner, the Executive Director of the Indiana Bond Bank. And it's my pleasure to have one of our biggest fans kick us off here at the event, Treasurer of the State of Indiana, Kelly Mitchell. Kelly serves as our board chair at the Indiana Bond Bank, and from the very beginning, has been a huge fan and an advocate of the Flipping Finance Challenge. We're so honored to have Kelly here tonight. So, Treasurer Mitchell, please welcome to the event, and we look forward to hearing your words.
Well, welcome everyone to the 2021 Flipping Finance Challenge. I am Kelly Mitchell, your Treasurer of State, and it is a treat to be with you this evening. We've got an exciting slate of events planned for the next 18 hours, and I don't want to stand in the way of innovation, so I'll be brief. There is nothing that captures the public imagination quite like public finance. Okay, maybe that's overstating things a bit. Public finance has a reputation for being maybe a bit dry and predictable, impossible to change, but it doesn't have to be that way. You're here tonight to flip public finance on its head. Tonight's exercises are an opportunity to innovate, to look at public finance with a new lens, and work with your peers to discover new ways to overcome the challenges inherent in this field. So as you begin your challenges tonight, it's important to abandon your preconceived notions of what government can do. Don't say, this is why we can't. The question for the night is, how might we? Think beyond the standard approach to common problems. How might we plan for the future? How might we bring the entrepreneurial spirit to government? Together we can prove that government innovation isn't an oxymoron. The Flipping Finance Challenge is once again brought to you free of charge, and despite COVID, we are still offering cash prizes throughout the event. This is all possible because of our generous sponsors who deserve a shout out. Bear with me, it is a bit of a long list, but we really have to say thank you to Ash Interactive, Barnes & Thornburg, Boundary Management Consultants, Bose McKinney & Evans, Crossroads Bank, Frost Brown Todd, Hall Render, Ice Miller, Indie Design Week, Jam Printing and Promotions, JP Morgan, KeyBank Capital Markets, Maverick Energy, Mesero, Regions Bank, Raymond James, Stifel, Swap Financial Group, UBS, and US Bank. To all of our sponsors, we are so grateful for your support. COVID has certainly created obstacles for events like this, but nearly all of our regular sponsors have stayed with us through the pandemic and prioritized this event. If you interact with any of our sponsors tonight, please make sure to thank them for keeping Flipping Finance alive. We also recognize our featured communities tonight: the City of Sullivan and Mayor Clint Lamb, the City of Jasper and Mayor Dean Vonderheide, and the Town of Knightstown and Clerk Treasurer Beth Huffman. These three units of government will be the focus of our challenges, and we are excited to partner with them this year. As a former county commissioner, I understand the balancing act required of local officials, and I am excited to see the solutions that you devise for these communities. I'll be rejoining you tomorrow for the awards ceremony, but guiding you through the bulk of the evening is a man who needs no introduction, Mark Wollner. Mark is the Executive Director of the Bond Bank, where he has been a fantastic leader for the agency and an invaluable resource to my office. He has facilitated many events like this one, and I am always in awe of his positive energy and creative thinking. I know you're in very good hands. Take it away, Mark.
Thank you, Treasurer Mitchell. Wow, for that very humbling introduction. It was your vision of the Indiana Bond Bank as a thought leader for Indiana that gave us the courage to pursue this crazy vision that became Flipping Finance Challenge. So thank you for that, and thank you for being here tonight to support us. Now it's hard to believe, here we are in our third year of the Flipping Finance Challenge. Welcome all. My name is Mark Wollner. I have the honor of serving as the Executive Director of the Indiana Bond Bank, the team that brings you the Flipping Finance Challenge. Now, it's hard to believe a year ago, this same weekend, we were holding the Flipping Finance Challenge, and it was, for us, one of the last in-person gathering moments that we had, one of those last bits of normalcy before this thing called COVID turned the world upside down. I really have reflected on those great memories we created at that event, especially when times got low during quarantine. And just as FFC 2020 marked kind of an exit from normalcy, we are very optimistic that we'll look back at this year's Flipping Finance Challenge 2021 and remember how it marked kind of the re-entrance into normalcy. Hopefully it's one of these last big virtual events we all have to do, right? This is a positive and an upbeat event, and yet I would not feel right to just brush past the last 12 months. Once you participate in Flipping Finance Challenge, whether it's a community or an innovator or a sponsor, you really become part of the extended Indiana Bond Bank family. And we have heard from many of you, it's been a tough and a challenging year. I've heard from innovators who have participated in the past who frankly have been derailed by COVID's devastating impact on their family. So if you allow me to take a moment to pause, to send my best, our best from the Bond Bank team to all of you, whether you're within the sound of my voice or not, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you. In the middle of 2020, in the throes of COVID, we got our own condolences from people who said, gosh, it's too bad you won't be able to do Flipping Finance Challenge in 2021. We never understood that. We believe in that philosophy that Peter Drucker, a leadership consultant, has said that the greatest danger in times of turbulence is not the turbulence, it's to act with yesterday's logic. And so turbulence is really obviously an understatement of the effect COVID has had on our communities. But if there ever a time and a place for new ideas, innovation, collaboration, for communities to not just hold on to yesterday's logic, isn't this the time and the place? We deeply believe that. We're so thankful that JASPER, Knightstown, and Sullivan, their leadership thought so as well. And over 130 of you clearly thought so also. I'll be honest, after 3 years, I still don't fully understand what a UX designer does. And many of you probably fully don't understand what an Indiana Bond Bank does. But one thing we do clearly understand together over these 3 years is that, setting all that aside, we have a common vision for Indiana. You believe, like we do, in an Indiana in which ordinary Hoosiers can bring their unique talents, skills, abilities, diverse perspectives, work together, and solve challenges. It's funny, every year I can set my watch to it, someone will come up to me and say, this is actually kind of fun. And as if like working 18 hours on public finance from Friday and Saturday for your whole weekend is not like super fun. But seriously, we know the title can be intimidating, but if you've been here, you get it. We've heard fun, refreshing, welcoming, family, government at its best. And if we've done any of that, we have truly lived up to our namesake. We've flipped public finance on its head. We have innovators leave this event deeply passionate about a community that they had never heard of before Friday at 6 p.m. We've had innovators return the next year with a teenage son or daughter in tow, showing them, again, government at its collaborative best. It's really these relationships that form out of FFC between you and the communities, between you and the bond bank, between the communities and the bond bank, and between the innovators themselves, between all of you. That really is the best of FFC. Public finance is really that means to an end to drive ideas forward for Indiana. Keeping that heart and that soul and that unique spirit of FFC was really a core focus as we went virtual. And I hope you'll agree with us, you'll agree with me, frankly, that what we have created kind of blows all our expectations away. And I really want to stop and give credit to Lydia Olson and Pete Brown of Ash Interactive, who created this board from scratch based on a vision that Brian Carmen from our team, again, take a moment here to pause, say thank you to Brian from our team, and really together have created what you have in front of you. We do hope it keeps that FFC spirit the spirit of progress as you move throughout a game board with a little bit of whimsy and fun, have that twist on what could otherwise be a very dull virtual event. If you see Brian, Lydia, Pete, on Slack and the Innovator Lounge, stop and give them a shout out. I can speak to Brian on our team in particular. His creativity, his hands-on approach is one of the main reasons our event has always remained so personal and so personable. Thank you to our sponsors who in these trying economic times made a choice to stick with Flipping Finance Challenge. So thanks to them, the event remains 100% free to participate in, 100% free for our communities. And on top of that, we offer the most generous rewards around, over $5,000 total in awards. Well, now I have the pleasure of introducing the communities. Each community has taken the time to craft a 10-minute video to talk about the challenges that you've seen posted on the board that they seek your assistance in solving. So whether you already have your eye on a challenge or whether you've come with an open mind, here's your chance to hear directly from the community leaders themselves about each challenge. So first up, in alphabetical order, let's welcome Clerk Treasurer Beth Huffman of Knightstown. Welcome, Beth.
Good evening and welcome to WTOK News Network. Tonight we take a look at critical issues facing Knightstown, Indiana. Up first, last week at the newly repurposed First National Bank building, now the Town Hall located in the heart of Main Street, the Town Council met for the 2020 year in review. According to Sarah Ward, Town Council President, even during the pandemic of 2020, Knightstown has taken major strides forward to make the town a better place to visit and live. Knightstown is probably known best for the historic Hoosier Gym, home of the movie Hoosiers. In 2020, a $600,000 project to, among other things, put a new roof on the gymnasium was completed. The Hoosier Gym Committee and Okra funded the project. Bringing in as many as 100,000 visitors a year to Knightstown, this project assures the gymnasium will be around for years to come. And in other basketball news, over at the Academy Place apartment building, a past local treasure was brought back to life. Look at that outdoor court. What a way for local kids to spend their afternoon. This project was a direct partnership with the Indiana Pacers, the NBA, and a local business, CFH Enterprises, LLC. The NBA donated $50,000 to Knightstown Kids Incorporated for the sole benefit of bringing this outdoor community basketball court back to life after being absent from the town for almost 20 years. The NBA was so impressed with the project concept, they chose Knightstown as only a handful of places throughout Indiana to help bring dreams to life. Updating council members on the Works Department, Randy Anderson, Works Manager and Licensed Water Operator, is excited about new residential automatic water and electric meters being installed in 2021. Anderson tells us that the meters will not only bring more revenue into town utilities, but that electronic notification of outages and leaks will allow for boots on the ground before a customer can even report the outage or the leak. Up next, Dan Wright, town engineer, reports from the front lines of the sewer project that the town has taken a large step forward by authorizing a state-of-the-art sewer plant be built. The new plant will increase capacity to allow for future growth. This plant is scheduled to be completed in 2021. Road work has long been a topic of town leadership in Knightstown. They're planning for some large road projects in 2021. These projects are made possible due to a grant opportunity from the Indiana Department of Transportation. The town spends 25 cents for every dollar, and the state pays the remaining 75 cents. That's a great savings for taxpayers. Has anybody seen the new fencing over at the Sunset Memorial Park? The park board worked hard in 2020 to improve the park and picnic shelters and keep the playground open even during the pandemic. Additionally, the new kayak launch is fully operating and is a great place to take off in your kayak. I'd like to be kayaking about this time of the year in some warm weather. Over at the Glen Cove Cemetery in Knightstown, volunteers had a busy 2020, and it doesn't look like things are slowing down in 2021. The newly established Heritage Cemetery Endowment Board was busy writing grants and making fundraising plans that will be executed when pandemic guidelines allow. Just for fun in 2020, the group put together some short video footage to highlight the history of the cemetery, which was recently named to the National Register of Historic Places. And in breaking news, the Knightstown RDC announced a deal with local developer Joe Peacock for a new development that will be named River's Edge Townhomes. According to Peacock, we are all very excited about our newest project here in Knightstown. The new townhomes are going to be such a great addition to the historical area we are building in along the banks of the Blue River. In additional news, a new flexible space commerce center to be named Stone Run Commerce Center has been approved and earthwork has begun with a planned completion in the fall of 2021. Local developer KDC Investments Incorporated has stated, "These flexible innovation buildings are going to be a great opportunity to help small businesses continue to grow and prosper within our community without the need to replace or relocate to larger metropolitan areas for the space required to enlarge their business footprint." Leaders are planning ahead to 2022. Recently, they announced that a maker's market will be added to the already beautiful town square in the middle of Knightstown. To say this is a town on the move is an understatement. It's hard to believe that a town of about 2,100 people got all of this done in 2020, especially during a pandemic. Looking forward, Knightstown needs your help. Town leaders are trying to decide, do they need an app to communicate with residents and potential visitors? How should they market this progressive community on the go? Just 40 miles from the state capitol, how does Knightstown make the case that people and businesses should move into the community? What kind of work-at-home opportunities has the pandemic created for Knightstown? How do they let people know Knightstown is so much more than Hoosier basketball? Leaders are also facing some big decisions out at I-70 and State Road 109. The Knightstown exit is ready for growth with the announcement in 2020 that the Henry County Hospital System plans to build on that exit. The problem? No sewer or water utilities provide services there. How will leaders get these services to the exit so that the hospital and other interested developers can make this exit a true destination? You may have realized by now, Knightstown is lucky to have such engaged leaders getting all of this work done, but the leaders are getting old. These golden oldies are asking, how do we get younger people involved in civic activities? Should we be working with the schools? We need help coming up with some new ideas for new leaders, said Councilmember Landon Dean. Food is also on the minds of local leaders. Knightstown is a food desert. We need a quality grocery store, commented Sarah Ward. But the initial cost of build-out for a grocery store means Knightstown has to find a grocer willing to forego profits for 7 or 8 years. Leaders need help figuring out how to make this happen. Another big problem, local ambulance service provider Southwest Ambulance recently announced they may not be able to continue operating due to some cuts in county funding. Knightstown leaders want a local ambulance service. Willing to offer up a town building for the ambulance service to operate out of, leaders are looking for other ideas about how to keep the ambulance service local. Council members in Knightstown have said they know they are moving in the right direction. Lots of great things are happening, and they are going to be the next suburb developed when people don't have any more options in Greenfield. Tonight, they are reaching outside of their comfort zone to hear from people across the state and get some new ideas from the 2021 Flipping Finance Challenge. Leaders asked me to give you this message. Work with Knightstown and help them solve critical issues. They are ready to roll up their sleeves and get things done. A big thanks to the Indiana Bond Bank for inviting Knightstown to participate in the 2021 Flipping Finance Challenge. Reporting from Knightstown, Indiana, this is Beth Huffman, WTOK News Network.
Well, thank you, Beth. Before I introduce Mayor Vonderheid of Jasper, I'd like to remind each of you that these videos are available at your convenience to rewatch if you need to take notes. They're on each community's page on the board. Mayor Vonderheid, would you tell us about Jasper's challenges?
Hello, my name is Dean Vonderheid and I'm Mayor of Jasper. I welcome all the innovators and problem solvers out there to help us with some of our big challenges in the city of Jasper. A little bit about the community. We're a community that has been known to be about 16,000 to 17,000 as far as population, but we swell during the day because of our economic stability with industry in the area to about a 24,000 level. So we're a very vital part of the regional economic development here and really look forward to continuing our journey and establishing a quality of life for those residents that moved to Jasper, Indiana. We recently just completed the Tim Clark Cultural Center, which was a combination of our arts and our library. It's a 63,000 square foot facility, and it is just a wonderful testament to what we can do as a community when we put our heads and hearts together. It was a $17.5 million project and funded through private and public partnerships. We opened the library and the arts side of this thing informally last week. And since then, we've been averaging well over 800 people a day coming through the doors. So I welcome you to come and see our newest addition to the city, as well as the latest exhibit that we have, John Mellencamp, Indiana artist, Hoosier native, is on display here until the middle of March. So come see us in Jasper. But I've got 3 challenges and I need your help. One of the challenges, we're standing in the depot, the train depot for the Spirit of Jasper train. And this was rebuilt through local funds and contributions. We have 3 train cars we run regularly. And we're trying to establish a more routine route, not just to the French Lick Resort area, but also south to Huntingburg. And there are a number of challenges that come with that with regard to how we might improve the rail and establish a new terminal in Huntingburg and draw some of the 1.1 million visitors from French Lick into the Jasper and Huntingburg area while they're touring this area. So I need your help on how we can get this train up and running. It was shut down in 2020 due to COVID, and in 2021 we're not looking to have many routes open to the public, but we certainly would like to get things moving and get a more routine basis here for us. One of the second challenges that we have is our transportation. We lack public transportation in our community and region. So with industry and the number of jobs that we have, usually holding one of the lowest unemployment rates in the state, we need people to be able to fill these jobs, and access to public transportation is a big part of it. As well, we have an aging population, as in most cities, And people don't want to drive to their healthcare appointments or to the grocery store and those places. We just need to come up with a good public transportation system that can get people to their jobs or to their appointments on a regular basis. So a reliable transportation system. And the third challenge, which was the #1 challenge from the public when it came to the City of Jasper, Impact Jasper plan, their comprehensive plan for the long range. That challenge is to build an indoor sports/recreational facility and aquatic center. Our current pool is aged, it limps along, does a good job, but it needs to be replaced in the immediate future. We have no indoor facilities for sports or recreation other than that is provided by the school system. And you know that in the wintertime, the schools have that booked pretty regularly. So there is no room, no place for our citizens to go in the wintertime for their recreational activities indoors. I know there's lots of ways to approach this, but some of you have already done it and have been down that path, and we need your help to try to figure out what our strategies and our pathway might be to get there and achieve this. So I look forward to working with you on these 3 challenges. I've assembled some owners for each one of the challenges that are well acquainted with the challenges, as well as some staff members that will be involved in it to answer any questions. We're providing a lot of information in advance, and I look forward to answering any questions you might have with regard to it and solving some of our challenges. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor von der Heide. Again, for all you innovators, these videos are available on each community's page. Finally, we've got Mayor Lamb from the City of Sullivan.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the City of Sullivan, and to you innovators out there, we hope that you will take a few minutes and watch this video today and listen to all the great projects, and we hope that you will partner with us, because quite frankly, that is what has enabled us to have all the progress that we've had here in the City of Sullivan, and that is partnering together with folks just like yourself. And the momentum continues, and we look forward to you joining us. And big thank you to the Indiana Bond Bank for choosing the City of Sullivan and selecting us as a Flipping Finance Challenge participant. That's a lot said. I think when we talked in the interview, I said it's a flipping finance for a flipping mayor down here in a flipping city. So is that the off the cuff that you were talking about? Okay, we have several different initiatives that we're working on here in the City of Sullivan. First and foremost, we'll start here with the Sullivan City Pool. The Sullivan City Pool was established in 1963, and it's the city's understanding that that was designed to be a 25-year pool. Now, I might not be the greatest at math, but that pretty much tells me about 1988, it should have had its entire life expectancy at that time. And here we are in the year 2021 now. And unfortunately, back in 2017, 2018, we really started having a lot of major issues with the Sullivan City Pool, and we had to close it down for the safety of our residents. Our goal was to try to get back open in 2020, and I think everybody out there that might be watching this video now understands what happened in 2020 with COVID-19. But children from all over the city and all over Sullivan County, and quite frankly, all over the region, would congregate at the Sullivan City Park, at the Sullivan City swimming pool for many, many years. Many memories, a lot of kids laughing, a lot of birthday parties, different events happen there. And we understand that a quality of life project like that is truly what makes successful communities. It's building your population and giving them amenities and things to do. So we need your help, right? Not every community can just go dump $7 or $8 million in a brand new aquatic center, so to speak. How can we revitalize the old Sullivan City Pool with new features and also with the nostalgic feel of the Sullivan City Pool? So we need your help. Here in our area, the City of Sullivan, Sullivan County, and quite frankly, a lot of Southwest Indiana has been affected by the decline of the coal industry. Whether it's in Southwest Indiana or whatever part of the world or country you're in, coal is on decline. And basically economics is driving that with other ways, other alternative energies like solar, wind, and whatever have you. For far too long, we have had all of our coal in one bucket. And I don't know which is more discouraging, the fact that coal is on the decline and it's going to affect this area, whether it's the Hoosier Energy Power Plant that announced its closure in the next 3 years, or the coal miners that we're all friends and family of that have lost their jobs over the last few years. I don't know if it's more discouraging with that or the fact that, quite frankly, there's no plan B. Like I alluded to earlier, the old saying, have all our eggs in one basket. We've had our coal in one bucket for far too long. And that's why this initiative and every initiative we're trying to do is to create a resilient community that deals with the ebbs and flows of the national economy. Regardless of what's going on politically or nationally economically, we can be resilient and give the residents a place to live, work, retire, and call home. City growth. We're talking physical city growth. We talk about downtown redevelopment. We talk about neighborhood revitalization. We talk about the Sullivan City Pool and all these amenities. We talk about neighborhood revitalization, where we're ridding the city of these spots of cancer, these eyesores, and building homes. But we're also talking about the actual physical corporate limits of the city of Sullivan. Here in the city of Sullivan, the city had not physically grown since 1956. However, during that same time, with suburban sprawl was going on all over the country, rural communities were no different. There were subdivisions and folks that are moving outside those corporate limits, but who do they contact when they need a police officer? Who do they contact when they need a firefighter? What pool do they swim in? What parks do they go to? What streets do they drive down? They all depend on the municipal services that we provide. And here in the city of Sullivan, it's no different than it is anywhere in the country. And unfortunately, here in the state of Indiana, we are one of the most difficult states because of legislation that's been passed in recent years to actually grow your corporate limits. So therefore, major corporations like McDonald's, Walmart, Burger King, Duke Energy, unfortunately, are not contributing to the well-being of the city of Sullivan and future growth. But Mr. Baszler at the grocery store, and Save-A-Lot, and the newsstand, Brown's Jewelers, those are the mom and pop stores that are carrying that burden. Because it is so difficult to physically grow your city limits, I need your help. How can I continue to provide services to areas outside the city without draining the folks here inside the city of Sullivan? So it's definitely a challenge. How do we continue to provide services to outside and ask those residents just to help provide and assist us with future growth for the entire community? Sullivan neighborhood revitalization that I referred to earlier. Several years ago, actually in the year 2008, Indiana was the hardest hit state in the entire nation in mortgage foreclosures. And last time I checked, there was about 350,000 abandoned homes in the state of Indiana alone. And the city of Sullivan and our community was no different than anywhere else in the state of Indiana. And we participated with the IHCDA and participated in the blight elimination program, and we ridded our city of 21 eyesores. 21 of these abandoned properties that we ridded our neighborhoods of, and then also started our own program, the They Gotta Go program. And since then, with a combination of the They Gotta Go program and the blight elimination program, we have ridded our community of over 90 eyesores and unsafe structures that were just absolutely choking the life out of Sullivan neighborhoods. And that's great. There's no better feeling than a mayor coming out after we just tore down a home and a lady across the street on her front porch giving a big hug with a tear in her eyes saying, I've lived across the street from that for the last 10 years. I've seen cats, I've seen dogs, I've seen drug deals in and out, coming out of that place, and thank you so much for getting that out of my neighborhood. And that's a great feeling, but at the end of the day, what's the next step? What's the next step? What used to be on that lot? A home, but more than a home, families. Mom, dad, kids, people coming and going, a buzz of activity. And that's why we're doing everything in our power to try to get new homes and new memories created. Quite frankly, it's one of the only initiatives by building new homes that'll actually make the city money over the next several decades. Whether that's folks moving in, paying local income taxes, shopping at local businesses, students going to Sullivan schools, or employers coming to the area because they actually have now a pool of employees to choose from. It's all based on population. So finding a way to make that investment that will entice the private sector to bring residential development into our areas. Like I said, it's more than just a house. It's people, it's trees, it's streetscape, it's sidewalks. It's making a walkable, livable community that we can all be proud of. The expansion of the Sullivan County Park and Lake. The Sullivan County Park and Lake was established in 1968, and it's my understanding it was the very first county park and lake here in the state of Indiana, and it brings in thousands of seasonal residents every year right here to our community, which also brings in, I don't even want to guess how many dollars, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars into the local economy. If you look at the city of Sullivan's population and look at the population of the township, it can be kind of deceiving when you look at it on a piece of paper. But when you take into consideration that 2,000 seasonal residents essentially come to our community on the beginning of April and they still stay till the end of October, it really does boost up our population numbers. They bring in their golf carts, because we are a golf cart community, as they come into the city and drive around. We have just been approved for $2.2 million from the Indiana Department of Transportation to connect the Sullivan County Park and Lake, which is only about 1.8 miles from our downtown. Also, one of the biggest events in our community every year is the Sullivan County 4th of July celebration. It's a beautiful display of fireworks over the Sullivan County Park and Lake that brings in tens of thousands of folks to the area. So it's a huge asset, and how do we make it even better? Even a potential lake expansion. I know about a decade ago, we had some federal officials and different folks throughout the community that were looking for ways to explore an actual physical expansion of the lake itself. In addition to the county park and lake campgrounds, we also have beautiful homes that are built along, which once again brings population to the community. In addition to bringing those seasonal residents, they bring visitors with them, they bring their billfolds with them, and their visitors can't always stay in the camper. Quite frankly, we actually put together 2 studies by professional organizations that came in, and that's all they did. Sullivan County was actually declared kind of a lodging desert at the time. And they came in and we put together 2 studies, and we were able to show that there is a major demand for lodging in our community. So elaborate a little bit more on our hotel, which is a major project. We actually talked to 5 different hotel developers and entrepreneurs that were interested in the community. We finally came to an agreement and selected a developer that was interested in building a hotel right in the middle of downtown Sullivan. And you know, we don't even have a state road that runs north or south, and we have just a bit of a state road that runs to the south of the city, just east and west. So we still have a lot of traffic and a lot of activity coming to our downtown area. And with the construction of the Sullivan Civic Center back in 2015, it brings a lot of folks to our downtown area, whether it's wedding receptions, class reunions, you can name the event. It happens at the Sullivan Civic Center. Unfortunately, some of the reservations don't follow through because of the lack of lodging.
The Sullivan Civic Center has been a tremendous asset to our community. We have people come from all over, even to host their own wedding reception, because there's not a venue similar to ours in neighboring cities like Linton, Robinson, Illinois, Vincennes. So it's just been a tremendous asset. We've had activities there from bridal expos, class reunions, funeral dinners, MMA fights, career expos, everything. We do have people come from all over, but there's no lodging. So I can only imagine the impact that having a hotel next to the Civic Center, what that would do.
So ladies and gentlemen, having said all that, once again, huge thank you to the Indiana Bond Bank for selecting the City of Sullivan in the Flipping Finance Challenge. Thank you so much. And please, innovators, if you have any questions, feel free to email me at clint.lamb@cityofsullivan.org. You can also contact me by phone at 812-268-5464 and find out exactly what we mean when we take time to care here in the City of Sullivan.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mayor Lamb. Now you may be asking, what next? Well, that's it from me. I will turn it over here to Brian Carmen to brief you on what you as innovators will do in the next period. So thank you again from Mark Wollner at the Bond Bank. I am here live on Slack. I will be available throughout the event. We thank you again for coming and have a great Flipping Finance Challenge 2021. Talk to you soon.
Welcome everyone to Flippin' Finance Challenge 2021. So excited to have you here. I promise I won't keep you long. I just wanted to provide a few updates and make sure everyone knows where they're heading next. So between now and 7:30, you still have some time to sign up to speak with one of our communities You can do this by navigating to their space on the game board and clicking on the Speak with the Team card and request a meeting. Communities are only here from 7:30 to 10 p.m. After that, they're gone for the night. So make sure that you take advantage of this time while you can. If you're still looking to build a team, feel free to drop into our Slack workspace and drop a note in the general channel, just saying who you are and that you're trying to build a team. If you know what challenge you want to work on specifically, just go to that challenge's specific channel and drop a note in there as well. You might check out the Innovators Lounge to see if other folks are in there as well. I do want to mention, we always encourage team building. We always want to offer up that opportunity, but you are more than welcome to work individually on a challenge as well. Certainly in years past, some of our most successful submissions have come from individuals who worked alone. But again, we just always want to make sure that we offer that opportunity for networking and team building as well. First submission to us comes at 10:30 tonight, and that is your individual or team challenge selection. This just gives us an idea of who's working on what, and we can relay that back to the communities, and we can all kind of get prepared for tomorrow. Your final solution is due to us by 9 a.m. tomorrow, and this is a 5-paragraph summary, no more than 5-paragraph summary, along with a link to an accompanying video that details your solution in more depth. Make sure that you allow your video enough time to upload and process. And just a best practice, you might just drop your 5-paragraph abstract into the description wherever you upload that video. That'll just allow the communities to have this information on hand as they review your solution. When you do submit your final solution, your team contact will receive an email with the link to sign up for one more time to speak with the communities. This will be a great chance to offer some clarification on your solution and for the communities to get some questions that they have on their end as well. I think the last thing that I got, I've mentioned now a couple times throughout the board, we have 4 Easter eggs hidden. Each one is worth $25 in gift cards to the first person who finds it. It's a great way to get more familiar with the board and potentially get some money as well. I am so excited to have you all here. Really excited to see how this all plays out. Can't wait to see what you come up with. Of course, if you're feeling lost at all, reach out to me directly, either through Slack or through email. I'm here with you guys all night. And again, I just can't wait to see what you all come up with. But make sure you get a time slot to speak with the communities. Again, navigate to their space on the community board and select the Speak with the Team option. And I wish you all a great event, and I'll speak with you all soon, I'm sure. Thanks, everybody.